I came to support because this is where you hear the facts. This is where the truth happens.
Bill Cosby's former TV daughter, Keisha Knight-Pulliam, showed her support as Cosby's sexual assault trial got underway in Norristown, Pennsylvania on yesterday. Knight-Pulliam says she feels for people involved in both sides of the case and does not condone sexual assault.
I don't take these charges lightly. I don't condone sexual assault in any way, shape, or form. But at the end of the day, our court system is set up, and the judge said plenty of times in the beginning of this whole thing that you are innocent until you're proven guilty. And the job now is for the two sides to prove their cases. And I accept whatever verdict is handed down.
Bill Cosby later tweeted out a thank you to Knight-Pulliam. Quote, "Thank you to Cliff and Claire's 4-year-old daughter and the brilliant Spelman alumnus." As for inside the courtroom, prosecutors quickly laid out their case, saying Bill Cosby used his power, fame, and drugs to assault a young woman, while the defense questioned the credibility of the alleged victim, Andrea Constand, saying Constand and Cosby had a romantic relationship. Also, another victim testified first in the trial. All right, folks, want to go to a reporter who is, of course, covering this particular trial in Philadelphia. He works for a Philadelphia radio station. Vincent Thompson, political correspondent for WURD Radio in Philadelphia. So, Vincent, your perspective in terms of what took place yesterday. I read the accounts of different people, R.A. Melbner and others, MSNBC legal analyst, who said the prosecution took some hits yesterday, while others said that the testimony of the other woman was assaulted, allegedly assaulted by Bill Cosby, did sound somewhat compelling. Your analysis.
Well, good morning again, Roland. It was an interesting day on the first day of the Cosby trial. The woman who testified is Kelly Johnson. She's an African-American woman that claims that Cosby also sexually assaulted her in the late 1990s while she was working as an assistant at the William Morris Talent Agency in Los Angeles. What the prosecution is trying to show with the testimony from Kelly Johnson, and they're also trying to get Miss Johnson's mother to testify, is that Mr. Cosby had a pattern of sexually assaulting women, using drugs to assault them, and then have those women do sexual acts on Mr. Cosby. I thought that her testimony was very compelling, especially to the 12 jurors. It's a 7-man, 5-woman jury. There are 2 African Americans on the jury, 1 man, 1 woman. I could see the women looking very intently at Miss Johnson. The men were as well. Remember, this is a jury that's coming from the Pittsburgh area. So they're 300 miles away from home, and they're sequestered. So they've been focused all day, and they're going to be focused for the next 2 weeks on that. So I think that, you know, Brian McMonagle, who is Cosby's attorney, really went after Miss Johnson. I mean, I think it was a preview of what you're going to see with Andrea Constand. He basically took her depositions and past statements and said, you can't remember this. Could you remember this? How can't you? Why can't you? So he really hammered away at Miss Johnson, but she stood her ground and said that Cosby assaulted her. So I think, you know, depending upon the side that you're on, you might think it was a win if you were the prosecution because she stood strong. You might think it's a win if you're the defense because she showed holes in her system. So I think the real key to this trial is going to be Andrea Constand. She's the star witness. How she goes, I think so goes this trial.
Vincent, of course, Bill Cosby has talked about the issue of race, and it also, do you believe, it's interesting how they played it out. The first witness the prosecution puts on, an African-American woman. I also understand that on the prosecution team, one of their top attorneys is also an African-American woman.
That's true. The woman who gave the opening statement for the prosecution is Kristen Fedden. She's an assistant district attorney, and she's the captain of their domestic violence unit in the trials division, and she laid out the case about why Mr. Cosby should be convicted in this case. She basically said this is a case about a man who used his fame and fortune to sexually pleasure himself. She also said trust, betrayal, and inability to consent will be the key to this case against Mr. Cosby. I was surprised that the district attorney from Montgomery County, Mr. Steele, did not give the opening statement, but I wouldn't be surprised if he waited to give the opening statement or waited to be the one that questioned Andrea Constand. So they've been doing a good job at having the lesser attorneys do the questioning in the beginning, and I think you'll see the district attorney actually be the one that questions Andrea Constand.
Vincent Thompson, WURD correspondent. We appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. Your hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not going to let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.